We'll call to order the October 16th, 2014 meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. Would everyone please stand for the prayer and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this pleasant weather. Lord, we thank you for carrying us through the hurricane season. Lord, let us get through the last end with everybody in the country free of harm. Lord, it's with heavy heart that we ask for special prayers for the Redillier family in Donaldsonville for the loss of their son. We also ask for prayers for the Shake Snyder family for the loss of one of our icons, Mr. Lyle Shake Snyder. And we also ask for special prayers for Miss Joycelyn Bibbs' family for the loss of her sister. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. 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 We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance being led by our Boy Scout, Mr. Jacob DeLone. Jacob, would you come to the front, please?
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jacob. You'll be one of our future leaders. Madam Secretary, please note that Councilman Shake Snyder, Councilman Johnson, Councilman Todd Lambert, and Councilman Terry Cazzo are absent tonight. There'll be no chair additions. Public comment period. Anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item, please sign in with the Secretary, and you'll be given time when that item comes forward. We'll move right into presentations. First presentation, Mr. President, proclamation for Mr. Kermit Hart-Burt, Day in Ascension Parish.
Well, we're going to present a proclamation tonight. A very special person here in Ascension Parish who's been an elected official for 50 years. I think that was, he started 2 years after I was born, Hart. So,
No.
But anyway, there's several distinguished guests here tonight, and I would ask them to come up here and actually join me, and then that way I'll let each of those guys speak. Ed, Ricky, Johnny, Aunt Jody, I don't, anybody else? And the sheriff, and I mean, Mr. AJ, you made it just in time. I've been holding it up for you. So, come on up. And first of all, I'm going to ask Jody Amadale, state senator. He always likes to be first. So, to say a few words about Hart.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm just the closest one, but I'm probably the only one up here that ever shot marbles on the rug at Mr. Hart's house, which he probably don't remember, but I know Jason does. I'm the same age as his youngest son, and I can remember when as a young child, he used to announce the games at East Ascension, and I would go up there with my dad in the press box, who I think was keeping the score or something. I don't remember. He probably remembers, but you know, as a I'm not going to talk long, but at least as a senator, and everybody understands, we all meet people in our life as we travel along in politics. And like at the state capitol, I have the pleasure of meeting people from all over the state. All the clerks come down, the sheriffs. Clerks are not as controversial as the sheriffs, though. And the first thing they always, when I meet them, is they say, where you from? And I kind of know most of them now, but I say, I'm from Gonzales. And, oh, you must know Hart. I say, oh, yeah. And they've never said anything but kind words about him and his staff. And everyone here agrees, I think, that he's run a tight ship and just a first-class operation. And I'm also a lawyer, so like Ricky, and I've been practicing law 18 years now, and his office is second to none. So I think it starts at the top. So thank you.
Like Miss Rita up here, I'm sorry. We want you to come up here. You're the better half of the two, they say. So come on up.
I'll wait for Miss Rita. I'm 51 years old. Hart Burke has been clerk for over 50 years, 51 years. So you have literally been the clerk of court my entire life. And I just wanted to tell you, Hart, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I've been practicing law over 20 years, and it's been a pleasure. Your office has modernized. You meet the people's needs. Your staff is wonderful. I've walked into a lot of clerk of courts and wish I hadn't. Never yours. Never yours. And you've just been a class act and just dedicated public service. I don't know how you've been this far without getting your name in the paper more than, what, once or twice? In 50 years, it seems like I'm there every week. But thank you. And one last thing is whenever you do decide to step down, I don't know exactly when that day is, just make sure that the people that work for you and have been such a part of your office remain, because they truly are gems to work with. Thank you, Mr. Hart. And I did put this suit on for you.
Ed Price?
Thank you very much, and I, too, just want to add these accolades. I've known you all my life, and one thing about it, when I first got into politics, and as you can remember, you were one of the first one that I came and talked to, because you've been that type of individual. You're more than just a clerk to me. You're a good friend, and that meant a lot to me. And when I came and talked to you and told you that I was thinking about running for office, you gave me some good advice and told me these are things that you're going to have to do, and you have to respect the people's wishes. And I always remember that quote from you, respect the people's wishes. So I appreciate that very, very much from the bottom of my heart. We know we love you. Hopefully you're success in whatever venture you do after this. But you've been a very, very good clerk, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hart and I are more than political friends. We're actually personal friends. We get a chance to go to dinner every so often with the sheriff. And it's amazing when we do go, we very seldom talk about politics. I know it's hard to believe, but we're personal friends. But I never voted for Hart Burke. Most of you hadn't either. He ain't never had opposition. But if I could have, I would have voted for you, Hart. I want you to know that. I don't know if everybody else will say that, but I would have voted for you. He's no doubt the godfather of elected officials in Ascension Parish, in a good way. Everybody goes to Hart for direction. And I tell you what, he has mended fences of enemies before, political enemies. He's been the man that mended fences. And he's a one-of-a-kind guy. And we're going to miss him if and when he ever goes. He's like the ever-ready battery. He keeps coming back. He's had some health problems, but I tell you what, he's back again. And Hart, you're a prince of a gentleman. I love you to death. God bless you.
Well, I could say the same thing that Johnny has said. I've known Hart, I guess, my whole life, because he and I graduated from school together. He's a lot older than me, but no, we graduated from school together, and I followed him all the way through college, and he was the first national champion football player in Ascension Parish. And Hart, you've always been a friend. We love you, and as long as you stay, we're there with you, and wish you the very best.
The representative talked about the dinners that Hart and I and he go to, and we do, and we are close, the closest of personal friends. And Hart will buy one time, and I will buy one time, and then Hart will buy one time, and then I will buy one time.
I'm conservative.
And, I like to think about this in Ascension Parish, as you know, keenly know, that we have been the fastest growing parish in the state for the last quarter century. And yes, we have the river, and yes, we have the geographical location, but I like to think that it's even more than that. And I like to think it was people maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago that brought this parish, laid the foundation, shall we say, for ethics and for
for business and for open for business, but open for business in the right way. And you can think about all of those elders, some of whom have gone on to the hills, God bless them, and others who are still here, and one of them's to my left. He is the closest of personal friends, and for those cynics in the public, and there are a lot, and sometimes I am one of them, about politics and about government and how do we not get it right, and what's going on with this, and why does this happen. There are those that can do it right. For 50 years, this splendid man, this ethical, wonderful guy. And let me tell you, you know he's not in the paper, and know he's a low-key guy, but you can ask Bridget, who is his chief deputy. He is on the job, and he is a very demanding accountability guy. They love him, but the job gets done, and they ask a lawyer, and they're right. They go to clerk of court's office all over Louisiana, and they can measure efficiency much better than you and I can. But also just him serving and his style of serving. So I'm so proud to have been in my 5th term. Thank you for that, and so blessed with that. But to be alongside Hart and to be tutored by him and to be able to discuss with him things, and I honestly do. And when we talk about Congress and we talk about gridlock and about, well, this side won't do this because this side can't do this, and all of this stuff that paralyzed our nation, whoever said it, Johnny or whoever said it, this is the guy who does understand to build bridges, mend fences, and to in the greater good of getting things done. So just count me in with all of these other individuals. Hart is one who's a better sheriff having served with you, and I just love you, and you know that you're one of my dearest, bestest buddies. I love you.
Hard, this is a hard crowd to follow, and I'm a little bit older than Tommy because I'm older than 50. So. But I've been knowing you all my life, and you guys have done a great job. You've developed a staff. I know your staff has moved over the years, within Bridget, Hannah, and the rest of the gang, and all the staff you got. But that's your true leadership skills. You've developed your staff, you've developed your program, you've kept moving it forward, and I, for one, and I probably think I speak for all the parish council, that we appreciate the job you do. And we wish you all the best, and have fun whenever you decide to not do this. Thank you very much.
And I want to say that if anybody's conservative, it's Hart Burke, because, the sheriff, he'll come to me and when he needs a roof fixed, a building built, something like that. And, the judges, they come and they cry about they don't have enough space and this and that. But when Hart says, look, well, I don't want to, I'm trying not to get that. But anyway, if you notice that there's an annex, a clerk of court annex building across the street, and there's a new wing over here with the clerk of court. Well, Hart paid for both of those out of his own funds, and did that, and saved us as parish government a lot of money, and I truly appreciate that. And I hope that you're leading by example, and that in the future we can kind of look and do these things. But Hart, you've been a true friend of mine forever, and Rita, I think, sometimes even closer, because me and Rita discussed a lot of things together. But you've done a wonderful job, and by going unopposed for all those years, that just speaks volumes. And I'm proud of you, and Ascension Parish is proud of you, and I'm sure that there's not I hadn't ever heard a bad word either, and that's kind of hard, because I've heard some about all these guys, but never you. So anyway, any other councilman want to say anything? But we appreciate your service to the citizens of Ascension Parish, and we truly mean it. So thank you. And we're going to read a proclamation. I'll give this to you. Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana proclamation to proclaim Thursday, October 16, 2014 as Kermit Hart Burke Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas Kermit Hart Burke was born on January 22, 1938 to Jermaine Mann Burke and Leona Godin Burke in Gonzales, Louisiana. And he is the brother of Kenneth, Pete, and Conrad. And whereas Hart attended Gonzales Elementary School and graduated in 1956 from Gonzales High School in Gonzales, Louisiana. And whereas after experiencing a talented athletic career during his high school years, Hart's prowess carried on as a fighting tiger for LSU football team. Whereas while a member of the infamous Chinese Bandits of LSU, Hart and his team won the national championship in 1958. And whereas following graduation with a Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Arts Education in 1961, Hart began his career in public service and shortly thereafter was elected as Ascension Parish School Board member for District 7. And whereas Hart was later elected Clerk of Court on March 4th, 1964, and was sworn in on May 16th, 1964. And whereas Hart is currently serving his 13th term as Clerk of Court for Ascension Parish, and after a distinguished career of 50 years, he was recently recognized by the Louisiana State Legislature for his outstanding accomplishments and leadership. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Morton, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim Thursday, October 16th, 2014, as a Kermit Hart Burke Day in Ascension Parish, and make him an honorary parish president on this day, urging our citizens to accord him all respect and honor due to an honorary holder of this high office. So, Hart, you got it for the rest of the day? And look, when the sheriff makes you an honorary sheriff, parish president outranks that. So just remember that.
Can I say something? Yes. Okay. I guess most of you know that I'm getting at the end of my rope, and I don't know how much longer I have to be able to do this, but I enjoy my life, I enjoy my work, and I enjoy my employees. They're all very good, well attended, and serve the public as the way they're supposed to do it. But anyway, they got a couple of things I got to do before this. Sheriff Wiley and Johnny Berthelot, where's Johnny? Two of my dearest friends. We get together a lot, and we have a lot to talk about whenever we do. But anyway, I love both of these guys, and I think that they feel the same to me about it as I feel about that to them. But anyway, and I consider all these people back here friends of mine, but I have to say that the sheriff and the representative are my dearest friends. And another thing I'd like to say is that I want to thank all the people in Ascension Parish, whether you voted for me or not. I know a lot of you hadn't voted for me. But anyway, and I don't blame any of y'all for not voting for me when I'm not on the ballot. But anyway, it's been wonderful, and the people that allowed me to serve without not even having to vote for us, that I think it's a tribute to people that are employed by my office. And we always treat the public like they want to be treated, and we're going to treat them like that as long as I'm the clerk of court in Ascension Parish. But anyway, I want to recognize my family, Lance and his wife, and yeah, stand up, Lance. Jason Burke, stand up, Jason. Ed, Blake Burke, okay. Brad's working. I got one that's working. Julie's my stepdaughter and her husband, Eric. And who else we got? That's it? Yeah, y'all stand up. All. But again, getting back to the elections, I was very fortunate to have no opposition 10 times, and 13 times 3 times we had opposition, but we didn't have much trouble getting reelected. Thank y'all all very much. I really appreciate this, and thank the parish government. Tom, thank you, bro. Always, yes. But anyway, thank y'all all very much, and I love all of you. Thank you very much.
Kim Wells.
With that, we'll move on to agenda item. The next agenda item, proclamation to proclaim Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Ascension Parish. We have Ms. Kim Wells with the Outreach Director and Iris Domestic Violence Center, and the staff and all the volunteers.
Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, proclamation to proclaim October 2014 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Ascension Parish. Whereas domestic violence has reached epidemic proportions in this country, and 1/4 of American women report having been physically or sexually abused by a husband or boyfriend at some point in their lives. And whereas domestic violence affects every community in Louisiana, including more than 3,700 women and their children of the greater Baton Rouge area, who in 2012 used the services of the Capital Area Family Violence Intervention Center, Inc., now known as the Iris Domestic Violence Center. And whereas the Iris Domestic Violence Center serves the parishes of East Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge, Ascension, Iberville, Point Capee, East and West Feliciana parishes with more than 22 beds for emergency shelter, a 24-hour crisis line, counseling, advocacy, legal services, and children's services. And whereas in recognition of the important work done by domestic violence programs, residents are urged to actively participate in the Take Back the Night Candlelight Vigil and other scheduled programs to work toward improving victim safety and holding perpetrators of domestic abuse accountable for their actions against individual victims and our society as a whole. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, to hereunto proclaim October 2014 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Ascension Parish.
I'm just going to say 1 or 2 words first. Okay, let me. I actually want to kind of just mention something to the councilmen today. This year, so far, we've had 4 deaths in our parish. starting with, well, I won't give them to you in order, but we have Dewana Green and Ronald Green in District 11, and I see that Mr. Benny Johnson is not here. These were two people that were killed in April, and I also gave you all a green folder with this in there, okay? We also have Ms. Alejandro and also Shayla Howard. Alejandra in District 9, Todd Lambert, and also Shayla Howard in District 1, Oliver Joseph. I just want you all, councilmen, to really take a look at this when you get a chance. This is real, and it's happening right in your district. And what we are striving to do, this is the CCRT team that is standing with me. We have Charla Johnson with St. Elizabeth, Pam Richardson with the Sheriff's Office, Suzanne Hamilton with Gonzalez with Ascension Counseling, and also Don with Ascension Counseling. This is just a few of the people that are on our team. We meet once a month to try to come up with ways to educate the community where we can decrease the crime rate here that is associated with domestic violence. We have one of the best parishes when it comes to our crime unit with Sheriff Wiley. He works very close with us. He lends us all of his support, but we need the community to get involved and to put your feet on the ground and help us to get the word out, educate different businesses, whomever that we can, schools that we can educate to decrease the statistics that are going on. 4 deaths in Ascension Parish is way too many, and all of these deaths were from January to July, and the year is not over. So we want to invite everyone to come out to our candlelight visual, Take Back the Night, which is going to be held on Monday at Jambalaya Park, free of charge. And thanks to the sheriff, they're providing the jambalaya, all of the food. We have a survivor that will come share their story, and then we will give you information on statistics, our services at Iris Domestic Violence Center, and also all of the high schools will be participating. I just want to say one more thing. We have our board president that is here today, Dana LeBlanc, who is not only, I don't say this because she's our board president, but she gets in, rolls up her sleeves, and she works very, very hard with she tells us all the time, an 80-hour job, her own 80-hour job. So we are very, very appreciative, and we are very appreciative to the parish as well. There's not ever been a time we have called on the parish president and his office, and they have not been there for us. So I want to just personally say thank you. Did y'all want to say something? Oh, they want me to tell you what the CCRT is, the Community Coordinated Response Team. So anybody in the community can be a part of it. It can be a retired citizen. It can be someone who works at the plant. It can be an agency. It's not any one particular person. It's the community coming together as a whole. All right? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and I know you come every year, and try to encourage all the citizens to get out Monday night for the vigil.
Thank y'all very much. We'll move on to the next item, Certificate of Recognition, the 2014 Hot Air Balloon Festival Committee. We got a gang with that committee.
Well, again, at last couple of meetings, we've certainly thanked the committee for a job well done. You know, it's estimated that we had over 50,000 people here in Ascension Parish, and I would venture to say that during those activities, they probably had 20% from Ascension Parish and 80% from outside the parishes. Basically what we try to do to bring people in here and create economic development. So it was a good economic engine for the parish, and thought it was a great event. Those that attended all had, I didn't have anybody complain about anything, and that's very unusual. And that's all due, and we did come out in the black, still working. We got one more item to work with Lamar Dixon of our direct cost to them to pay back. Other than that, I think it's going to be very, very well. It's definitely paid for itself with quite a bit more left over to actually seed next year's event. So I'd like to ask Mr. Martin McConnell to please come up and help me give out these certificates. And again, I personally want to thank the committee for doing such a great job on this event and making Ascension Parish proud. It made me proud, and I hope it made everybody here proud. And it was all because of you guys, and we appreciate that. So, Martin, if you will help me, I would appreciate that. Yeah, go ahead, and whoever that is, we'll read it and set it.
This is a certificate of appreciation, and it's awarded to the 2014 Ascension Hot Air Balloon Festival Committee. Parish of Ascension is proud to present this certificate of appreciation to you for your hard work and dedication in making the 2014 Ascension Hot Air Balloon Festival a huge success. We join Council Chairman Randy Kluwat and the entire Parish Council in congratulating you and the Balloon Festival Committee for making this festival the premier event of Ascension Parish and one to be rivaled in the Gulf South region. And this one, our first one, is going to Ms. Amanda Barat. Amanda, is she here? Here she comes. Amanda kept track of the money, so that was very, very important. Miss Audrey Boudreau. Audrey Boudreau, you can't have a committee to do good things in Ascension Parish without having Audrey as a member. Mr. Bobby Swallow. Bobby Swallow ran the grounds. We knew what was going on at the festival thanks to Mr. Bobby Swallow. Oh, I don't think he's here, but Lieutenant Colonel Bobby Weber with the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office. We couldn't have done it without the cooperation of the sheriff. We have several people who couldn't be with us here tonight because of various different commitments. Captain Cody Melanson with the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office couldn't join us. Captain Dowell Bren with the Gonzales City Police Department could not be here. And she's in Tulsa, Oklahoma, judging horses right now. Miss Flo McGee, who's the general manager of the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Flo took care of many, many things, I can tell you. Ms. Gwen LeBlanc. Gwen LeBlanc was not only our treasurer, she was our financial guidance and everything throughout. Thank you so much, Gwen. Detective Sergeant Jeff LaGrange. Jeff was there on the festival grounds the whole weekend. He kept giving us updates when we knew what was going on, thanks to Jeff LaGrange, but I know he's not here tonight. Golly. You see how many people it takes to put on this thing? Nobody can claim success for this. This was really truly a public and private partnership, but it was this was a committee of the whole that put this thing together. The guy who's filming us right now, John Connolly. John, come on out from there. John Connolly handled all of our, well, not all of our publicity, but everything electronic that went out and commercials and TV spots and everything. John Connolly. We had to quit providing free donuts at all of our committee meetings when John Connolly started coming in. Mr. Ken Furman. Ken Furman came on kind of late in the process, but boy, we couldn't. Ken took care of the barbecue and the cars and everything else. Ken just did a wonderful job for us. Thank you, Ken. Ms. Kimbrough. If there was ever a queen bee, here she comes. The queen bee, she kind of flitted around and just made sure that everything was taken care of. Thank you, Kim. And Miss Kylie Gravois. Kylie, are you here? Kylie is the graphic designer for Ascension Parish Tourist Commission. And I don't think, I think the main reason we made money and ended up in the black is we didn't have to pay someone to do all of that great graphic design and all of the artwork and everything that was done for us. The Facebook page, the internet page, all of that was done for us by Kylie Gravois, and she did us a fantastic job. Major Lee Anderson. Lee Anderson with the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office. Lee took care of the parking. He took care of the security. He took care of all kinds of stuff out there. And I think he had a pretty good time while he was there, didn't he? Oh, the man with the camera, Mr. Lester Kenyon. The reason you heard about this festival is because of this man, Mr. Lester Kenyon, because he put out the word. Thank you, Lester. Mr. Mark LaCour. What can I tell you about Mark LaCour? Go on YouTube and type in 2014 Hot Air Balloon Festival, and you're going to see the most professional video you've ever seen, and it was done by Mark LaCour. Let me tell you what else he did. We had 4,800 T-shirts left over from previous festivals. Mark took those T-shirts, he made a bunch of little save-the-date cards, he rolled them all up, he brought them to all of the schools around here, and the cheerleaders threw them up into the stands at the football games to tell people, come to our festival. Well, Mark, they came. Thank you. Mr. Rick Weber. Rick Weber is Director of Office of Emergency Preparedness for Ascension Parish. This festival was balloons, blues, and barbecue. Rick is out doing emergency preparedness stuff elsewhere, but our festival was balloons, blues, and barbecues, and the balloons belonged to someone else, but the blues and the barbecue were the brainchild of Mr. Rick Weber. He put it all together. He coordinated that. He did all of that stuff. So when you think of emergencies, just hear blues music playing in the background, and that's Rick Weber. Mr. Robert Ambo. I got to call him up here because this was our director of balloon operations. This is the second person I ever met with to put the festival together. But Robert Ambo got all of the balloonists to come out down here, and he coordinated all of their efforts, and everything that had to do with balloons was done by Robert Ambo, and we appreciate him greatly. Thank you, Robert. Ms. Sherry Denig. Sherry was here the last time, but she couldn't come tonight. Sherry is the Executive Director of Volunteer Ascension. And let me tell you about Sherry. She put together this matrix on the Volunteer Ascension website, and we figured we needed 120, 150 volunteers, and we were kind of sweating that. And Sherry put that out on her website, and she put it together, and guess what? We had all of the volunteers that we needed thanks to the efforts of Sherry Denig and Volunteer Ascension. Whenever you see any kind of a function out there, any fundraiser, anything for Volunteer Ascension, make sure you take part and kick in a buck, because Volunteer Ascension really does make a difference in the Ascension Parish community. Another one who is out right now promoting Ascension Parish, Ms. Tracy Browning, the Director of Tour Ascension in Ascension Parish. Tracy was my right hand in this whole procedure. Right now she is in Texas. You don't see enough Texas license plates driving around here right now. Tracy's out there getting more for us. So that's what Tracy is doing. And then finally, this person, I don't know, I didn't think I slept at all. And she slept even less than I did. Miss Wanda Martin with the Ascension Mutual Aid, with the fire department. She was out there. She was cooking breakfast. She was running the first aid station. She was doing everything. And all that time, she had her granddaughter with her in all of our meetings. Wanda just did a great job, and I can't thank everybody. I can't thank you enough for the wonderful job that you did, because you made this the premier event of Ascension Parish, and thanks to you and your efforts, it's going to continue on and on. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Martin. And we have one last one, and it's for Martin. And Martin, we appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you, and couldn't have done it without all those fine sponsors that we had. It was just a wonderful thing. And I just want to thank, again, all these volunteers, because all these parish employees you see, they volunteered their time, and a lot of them worked 14, 15 hours a day for 3 days. And proud of you guys and for doing what you did, and all the volunteers. But all of our group, and we appreciate it. So thank you.
There's one person who doesn't have a certificate and probably deserves it more than anybody else, and that's this gentleman standing to my right, Mr. Tommy Martinez, the parish president, because it was his vision and it was his dedication and it was his support that really made this happen. And Tommy, with Tommy's help, whenever we had some sticky wheels, whenever we had some problems that we could not overcome, Tommy was there to help us out. And everybody deserves credit, but it couldn't have been done without Tommy, and I want to publicly recognize him for that.
Thank y'all for a job well done. Thank you. See y'all next year.
See you next year.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Blueberry next year. Kim Prince.
Good-looking people in the
Oh.
front. You said that, not me. When you get up in the front, Amanda, y'all get in. Step forward a little bit here. You got everybody? Okay. On three. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2. Gotcha. Okay.
What's he got in his hand there?
And last but not least, under my report, this is all I have. I'm going to
We'll
keep
move
y'all.
right into the parish president's report.
This is the parish president's report. That's
You
it.
got it.
Okay. I'm going to ask the Kim Friends representatives to come up. Martha, would you bring? Oh. This is another event we do every year, and you know, it's great. The chemical plants put together a group of people, and they invite all the schools to participate. And if you ever been to one of these expos, it's something to see. I think our kids enjoy it. They learn a lot of things about chemicals and chemistry, and you know, that's basically the bread and butter of our parish as far as our economic engine. And it's important that they participate and they work with us. And anytime we go to them and ask them to do these type things, they do it. But this is something that was created a good many years ago, huh, Martha? And 18 years ago, and it's been thriving ever since. So I just want to, y'all come on up. So. Stefan, no, you're not opposed to that. No. Makes the bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, it makes us look better. To proclaim Kim Friends Week in Ascension Parish, whereas the Kim Friends Expo will celebrate its 18th year on November 5th and 6th, 2014, at the Gonzales Civic Center, with the objective of raising interest in science and chemistry among students in the community. And whereas our country, state, and parish all have a need for more trained professionals in the field of chemistry, engineering, and other science-related areas. And whereas local students need to be exposed to these professions in order to encourage their interest in these fields. And whereas the Kim Friends Expo was developed in support of National Chemistry Week and has proven to be one of the most successful outreach programs in this area. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim November 2nd to the 8th, 2014, as Kim Friends Week in Ascension Parish, and urge my fellow citizens to participate in this worthwhile educational endeavor.
Thank you, President Martinez. I do appreciate this. As mentioned a moment ago, we're actually celebrating our 18th year here. So about 19 years ago, we had a group of people that got together and wanted to further education in Ascension Parish, especially with science and chemistry. So they got together, and their brainchild, or actually the product of their brainchild, was something called the Kim Friends Expo. And during this event, the concept was to have a reverse science fair where the sixth graders get to have hands-on experience with chemistry demonstrations. And it's us, the adults, that put it on. So that evolved into an event where we have 14 different companies that are involved with this, including parish government and several others. And we actually bring all, currently, 1,800 is the number. About this year, I think it's a little bit over 1,800, students of Ascension Parish. All private, public, and homeschool students are invited to attend. And we do this event over 2 days. And the chemistry people who are involved with it essentially volunteer their time, they volunteer their supplies, they volunteer their people to actually help put this event on. It is something that is unique, not only within the state, but also within the country. We have had several people come in to actually monitor the event and try to figure out how to replicate it in their areas and their parts of the country to further education. It's a very difficult thing to do, though, because it actually takes parish government, it takes the school board, and it takes a lot of industry and volunteer support to put on. So this, again, is a very good indicator of Ascension Parish and how great this parish is and the things that we do to try to make sure that our students are getting the best education to support good jobs and good industry going forward. So it really is a good segue. I did want to just talk or mention just a moment about the companies who are involved and recognize them. Air Products, Altheon Solutions, BASF, CF Industries, DuPont, Honeywell, Methanex, Motiva, OxyChem, PCS Nitrogen, Rubicon, Shell Chemicals, Westlake Chemicals, Williams. Of course, we've got Ascension Parish government involved. The Gonzales Fire Department also volunteers some of their time. The Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality is also a member that helps out. Obviously, the Ascension Parish School Board, who not only pretty much has the kids bussed in, but takes care of all of the issues with making sure that they're there on time. We love the bus drivers. We feed them donuts and keep them happy. And also Southern University is involved with us as well. So it's not just the private sector. We actually have others that are involved, too. The event is going to occur November 5th and 6th. The day event is actually closed to students only. So during the day event, we have the students that are bussed in, and we break them into groups, and we give them their demonstrations, and they go on their merry way. However, the second night, which is going to be the 6th, we open up the doors from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. at night for the community. We do call this Community Night. So during Community Night, we do invite all the Ascension Parish citizens and kids to come back and take a look at the experiments and get to do that firsthand for themselves. We mentioned 18 years and we mentioned 1,800. For those of you that are kind of quick in math, anybody want to guess how many students over 18 years we've had come through this event? 30,000. We've managed to touch 30,000 students coming through Ascension Parish with this event. One of the most, I guess, if you want to call it the best things I've seen come out of this, just several years ago, we actually had 2 students in Southern University in the booth doing the Chem Friends demonstrations for the students. They're chemistry majors at Southern and pretty much straightforward said the reason why they're involved in chemistry and the reason why they became chemists is because of Chem Friends. That's it. That's why we do what we do, because we're impacting students of Ascension Parish. So I do thank the council, I do thank the school board, I do thank the citizens for Ascension Parish, I do thank President Martinez for the support, and hopefully we will be here another 18 years with Chem Friends. So I invite you to look at our website, chemfriends.org. There's a lot of information that's out there about the event, and hopefully some of your kids have either come through or will go through Chem Friends in the future. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you all so much again for a great job, and we appreciate what you're doing with our students, and hopefully it continues to for the next 40 years, 50 years, whatever it takes. But you know, when a program this good works, we need to keep it going, and whatever we can do to help you, we would do so.
Thank you. Thank you, Parish President. We'll move on to agenda item number 7, the consent agenda.
Motion?
We have a motion by Mr. Oliver Joseph, second by Mr. Chris Lohr. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move on to the committee recommendations, Personnel Committee recommendations. Chairman Chris Lohr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Personnel Committee met on September 30th and gave the following recommendations to the council. The first up is the Tourism Commission. There was one opening as a result of the resignation of Mr. Justin Newhart. There was one interview conducted, and the committee recommends the appointment of Mr. Randall Lejeune to replace Mr. Newhart.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert,
Second.
second by Mr. Oliver Joseph. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
For ACUD number 1, the committee recommends the reappointment of Mr. Thomas Cancian for another 3-year term, and there is one more open position on this board, just as an FYI.
We have a motion by Mr. Turner, second by Mr. Joseph. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
Next was the Capital Resources and Development Board. The committee recommended the reappointment of Mr. Jason Petrie for a 2-year term.
Motion?
We have a motion by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? Any opposition?
And just
Motion
as an
passes.
FYI on that, there is still one more opening.
Yes.
And lastly, the Industrial Development Board. There are 3 openings on this board. There was an applicant, Mr. Arthur Cooper, who reapplied, and the committee recommended his reappointment for a 6-year term.
We have a motion by Mr. Joseph.
Okay.
Need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Yes, Mr. Joseph.
Maybe I'm wrong, but aren't we supposed to do something with this industrial board a while back, or we was gonna try to?
We reduced it to 5 recently.
Okay, all right. I just wanted,
It was 9 in the last couple council
I know we
meetings.
had a little
reduced it,
debate
yeah.
about what we were gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
Okay, and there were also 2 more open positions, and there were 4 applicants for that, and that was to replace Mr. Michael Calvaruso, who did not reapply. So the applicants were in order from the recommendations from the committee in order were number 1, Justin Champlin, 2, Vince Cataldo, 3, John Duplessis, and 4, Chad Lynch. So the committee recommended Justin Champlin and Vince Cataldo.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Melanson. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
Okay. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to agenda item number 9, approval of parish employee special holiday of November 4th for Election Day. Parish President?
Yes, it came to my attention that everybody at the courthouse is off. I think the school is off, and some of our buildings they use for voting, and so I would just ask that, if possible, we go ahead and, I can't declare the holiday, but the council can.
We have a motion by Mr. Melanson, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Discussion, any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 10, resolution to request a performance of a traffic study by Louisiana DOTD on LA Highway 930 at its intersection of Henry Road and West Lane to investigate the necessity of an all-way stop sign at the intersection due to frequent traffic accidents. Mr. Todd Lambert's not here, but I think this request comes forward by Mr. Lohr.
Yes, yes, sir. There's been a lot of accidents, obviously, there, and it's right near school and very unsafe. So we're just asking the committee if we could move forward.
Yeah, the motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lohr, second by Mr. Lambert, Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? Any opposition? Move that on to LADOTD. We'll move on to plan and zoning recommendations. Agenda item number 11, zoning review ID 2459.14, located on the north and south side of LA Highway 1, north approximately 4,700 feet east of LA 405, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from light industrial, medium industrial, residential, and conservation to high industrial for Souvenir Incorporated, for review only. We'll move on to agenda item Number 12, introduction of an ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from conservation and medium industrial to mixed-use corridors for lots 3 to 9 Homeless Landing subdivision for Burnside Plantations LLC, located on the north side of LA 44. For introduction only. Agenda item.
You're gonna move
We're going to need a motion.
Need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Turner,
Second.
second by Mr. Oliver Joseph. Any discussion, any opposition? Motion passes. Introduction of an ordinance, revision to the zoning map, mobile home park and RV park zoning designations.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Turner. Motion by Mr. Joseph. Second by Mr. Malonson. Any discussion? Any opposition? It's introduced. We'll move on to item number 14, introduction of ordinance to declare surplus and authorize the sale and/or transfer of miscellaneous movable property.
Motion introduced.
Motion by Mr. Sadley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. It's introduced. Introduction of ordinance to amend the 2014 budget and adopt the 2015 budget. Motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Second.
Second by Mr. Malonson. It's introduced. Introduction of ordinance to revoke and relocate the existing 12-foot utility servitude and 30-foot private servitude passages of Lot 9-D-2 of Kent Haydale property. Move to the council via UDC 17.4050 B2A.
Motion introduced.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Malonson, second by Mr. Sadley. Motion to introduce. Motion to introduce, introduction of an ordinance SR 14-07, revision of the subdivision regulations in the United Land Development Code pertaining to the Family Petitions Planning Commission recommends approval of this item. Motion to introduce.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Joseph.
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. It is introduced. Introduction of ordinance to amend the sewer ordinance, Chapter 18, autonomous boards, commissions, and authorities, Article 11, consolidated utility districts, Division 2, general sewer ordinance.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion introduced by Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Is introduced. Okay, all right. I'll take the vote. We have an opposition. Madam Secretary? It's not a vote, it's introduction. But if you want to oppose the introduction, I don't know the legal behind that. Please note that Mr. Malonson opposes. Any other opposition?
The next meeting, we will get more
Right.
details on.
Yes.
That's the only thing.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Move on to agenda item number 19, reading of ordinance to revoke the existing 40-foot private servitude of passage and relocate the existing 12-foot utility servitude run along the side of track A2 of Henry E. Gonzalez property for Shelley Carpenter.
Whereas the petitioner has petitioned the Ascension Parish Council to revoke a 40-foot private servitude of passage along Lot A2 of the Henry E. Gonzalez property in Santa Maria, Louisiana, and to relocate a 12-foot utility servitude on the same lot in Ascension Parish, Louisiana. Whereas the Planning Department, Engineering Department, and all the relevant utility companies have reviewed and researched said request and have no objection to the revocation and relocation, the Parish of Ascension hereby ordains that it grants approval of the revocation of the 40-foot private servitude of passage along Lot A2 of the Henry E. Gonzalez property in Santa Maria, Louisiana, and the relocation of the 12-foot utility servitude on the same lot in Ascension Parish, Louisiana, more fully described on a plat attached here to and made a part hereof as Exhibit A.
Motion to open public hearing.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Melanson,
Second.
second by Mr. Sadler.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Mr. Melanson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Sadler.
The ordinance.
Motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Melanson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Sadler. Any objection? Ordinance is moved. Before we move on to agenda item number 22, the adjournment, I think this is our last meeting before Halloween, and I just want to ask the public to, let them know that we have abundance of in-parish football games going on that Friday night, the 31st. We have, four of our high schools playing in the parish that night. We have all the young folks trick-or-treating, and the sheriff's office is going to cover everything that needs to be covered. But I want to ask everybody to please be courteous and watch out for the small children on the streets. And the main highways where we normally can be running 55 miles an hour or 45, let's be courteous and let's slow down and take our time for a couple hours during that time when we have those children on the streets. And with that being said,
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
we have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Second by Mr. Brian Malonson.
Thought we were going to be stuck here for a while.
We are adjourned.